In this video, I'm going to show you how to change the front brakes on a VTX 1300. This is the R version, hence the huge fenders on it. If this was a C, you would have had no issues doing it. But because this is an R, what you end up having to do is removing that extra bolt out there so you can get some slack in the line. And then what you have to do is remove this cap screw and pull out the axle that holds the brake pads in, and the brake pads will simply fall out. Once that's done, you remove these two bolts that hold the caliper in, which then allows enough room for you to bring out the caliper. Now what we're going to do is we're going to push these pistons back in. Point to note, do not press the front lever in, otherwise these pistons will come out. So I'm going to clean up a little bit here, and then I'll show you how to reinstall the caliper. I wanted to show you what the new versus old brake pads look like. As you can see, significant difference. The wear bar is almost gone. So pretty much I was at my max life of my brake pads. These are what the new brake pads look like. I've gone ahead and pushed the pistons all the way in. I want to make sure you're all the way in, because we're not going to be able to slide the new brake pads in if the piston isn't all the way. The other really key important thing to do here is to wipe down your rotor with brake cleaner fluid. You want to do that on both sides. Extremely important. Actually, I got some grease on my backside of my rotor and didn't realize that, so that was causing my front brakes to continuously slip. So just wanted to point that out. Make sure you do end up cleaning these up, because if you have any gunk on there, guess where it's going to go? On your new brake pads. Alright, so the thing that here that what we're going to do is I'm going to try to point this out with my thumb, because I only have two hands. There we go. The new brake pad in the front is going to go in that cavity right here. Right in here where my thumb is. Then the inner brake pad is going to go under the lip that is created by this piece of metal right there, you can see. So the deal here is I'm going to put this caliper on without the brake pads in. Once I get this in there, then I'm going to slide the inner brake pad so that it falls right behind this clip, and then it needs to land on top of that clip, and then I'll slide in the pad that's closest to me into that location, and then I'll push on both the rear side and then slide the pin in. That's the only way I can get it in without having to loosen this line more. If I want to install the pads in here before I go ahead and install it into the onto my bike, what I have to do is I have to remove the link that holds the brake line here. I have to remove the brake line from here and undo the brake line from here. This gives it enough slack for me to be able to pull the rotor, the caliper, all the way down here and then slide it in and bring it back up. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble this thing without removing those, but if you feel that you can't do that, or you're afraid that you're not going to be able to seat it properly on this side of the caliper, then go ahead and remove those extra bolts. Let me get started here. Okay, so I've got it in. As you can see from here, you can see the front brake pad is in place, right? To point out is when you stick it in there, that brake pad will not sit properly if it is not in the correct location. So but I only had one hand, and I had to hold it here, and I ended up putting my phone a little further away than I expected. So I ended up putting in the second brake pad, as you can see. Once again, if the brake pad is not in the correct location, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. So I am good to go here. One thing I do want to add is when you do put these caliper bolts back in, you want to put blue Loctite in it so that there is some, so they don't vibrate out. That's basically it. It's pretty simple. It's literally a 10-minute job. And the only thing that I had to undo was this one bolt here, so I could get enough slack in my line to be able to remove the calipers without the brake pads. I hope you found this video helpful. If you got any questions, please feel free to ask me down below.